Sorry y'all, I just sneezed. This week has been so unpredictable, and let me tell you, I ended up having to get COVID tested. Hey everyone, my name is Kristen and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm currently in my third semester of nursing school and I'm taking Peds Community and OB this semester. So I didn't have a chance to go ahead and finish editing my video. I wanted to go ahead and post this week a what do I do in clinical, like what to expect, kind of talk about just like med surg, because normally those are the first clinicals that nursing students will go into. I had kind of a very bad severe reaction this week, so I was going to go ahead and kind of talk about that and update you really fast on my life. So this is just going to be a short video on kind of what went on this week and why my week was so crazy. But in case you hear that, they're redoing the apartment below me, so there is a lot of noise. I've been having to film at like such odd hours. I also do have a question before I go into kind of what happened this week and maybe why I sound so congested. Relates to the whole construction downstairs. So I was thinking of maybe putting a Facebook group together with all my viewers, just because I've been getting a lot of the same questions, which I have no problem answering repeated questions, but I have had people like privately DM me like for notes, and then I've had other people like ask questions like on one video and it happens to be a question on another video. So I figured maybe if y'all were interested in like a Facebook group, it might just be easiest to not only get like suggestions and tips from me, but maybe other nursing students who are also watching my channel can go ahead and suggest and give tips and tricks. Or it's just a good way to go ahead and just have like a little community to like share notes, be able to get different ideas, bounce back from each other. So if you like that idea, let me know. I was thinking about it, but I didn't really know if anybody wanted me to create a Facebook group, so I thought I would ask. Hence why I really wanted to at least kind of do this video to like really ask about that Facebook group, just because I don't always look at my Instagram, so I don't always see like the request messages that I get in there. So sometimes I miss questions, and sometimes I know I've been like answering something when I gave a really good response the first time, and then the second time I'm like, oh man, Kristen, like you should have just copied and pasted that. So I figured if y'all like it, just let me know. So the other thing that happened this week, let me tell you, I had an OB exam on Tuesday, and if anything could have happened, it would have been before an exam. So on Monday night, I ended up going to Walmart. They have really cheap snacks when it comes to like Lara bars and just like the healthier snacks that I like to pick up, like trail mix. So I ended up coming back home and I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I walked in my apartment door where my kitchen is, because I do have a back door, and all of a sudden I like started coughing and I couldn't breathe. It was like the smell was so overpowering. It was so uncomfortable. And then my mom was like, are you okay? And I ended up sitting outside for solid like 20 or 30 minutes. And it's like 30 degrees. Like I do not want to be sitting outside right now. It was uncomfortable in all aspects. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like the fresh air was too cold for me to breathe. And so there was just this very heavy chemical fumey kind of smell. And unfortunately, my apartment complex sent out a blast email to let people know. They failed to let me know, and this unfortunately is in the apartment right below mine. So the issue that I had was I'm highly sensitive to smells. I can really only tolerate like vanillas and like anything that's super sweet. Pretty much anything else really gives me a headache. It causes my sinuses to like get super swollen. I have to use like hypoallergenic like cleaning supplies. My cleaning supplies right now are very light mint smell, and they have like no dyes, no harsh chemical smells or like fumes. I've always been kind of highly sensitive, and it almost kind of triggers like an asthma reaction, but I don't have asthma. So it's very hard to describe like kind of what the reaction is. So essentially they were redoing the floors, and it was the chemicals that they used in the floor that really got to me. I ended up having really bad chest pain on Tuesday, and I still had to take my OB exam. Like my OB exam didn't open on the time it was supposed to open, and it just did not go very well. I was very uncomfortable trying to take this exam. I was very stressed out because the exam wasn't opening. I still, like, my eyes were very swollen. They were watering. Like, it almost looked like I had allergies, but it was worse. Like, my eyes were so red, and it was like my chest hurt so bad. And because I was sitting at home all day, I didn't realize how short of breath I was. And so I went to clinical on Wednesday, and my clinical instructor put me in GI. It was for community, so I would have been watching outpatient procedures. Well, right now we do have to wear N95 masks if we're going to be watching procedures. And I was walking, and I told my professor, I was like, you know, I kind of can't really breathe right now, and I don't know if I'll be able to breathe with an N95 mask on. And she was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I like had explained to her what had happened. And I was like, I know it may sound like I have COVID, but I was like, I don't. I had a severe reaction and I almost couldn't breathe. I live right next to a hospital. I almost walked myself to the hospital. And she literally told me, she's like, I can see you're using your accessory muscles to breathe. She's like, I want you to go home. Like, I can tell you're short of breath. She's like, seriously, like, you need to rest up and get better. And I actually ended up going to a walk-in clinic because the shortness of breath wasn't going away. Like, I would walk 5 feet and like be super short of breath. And let me tell you, when I walked in, the individual at the front literally looked at me when I told her I had shortness of breath. And I was like, look, I was perfectly healthy before this happened. Now the chance of me having COVID could actually be a lot more than I probably think because I'm constantly in a hospital. And a lot of the nurses that I followed do take care of COVID patients depending on the unit. So, you know, the chance of me having COVID wasn't like out of the ordinary, but it's just crazy to think that I knew that I had, like, this has happened before, just not as severe. Like, I knew I was having a reaction and they were like, well, we don't know if we should like let you go in there or not. And I was like, okay, well, if I shouldn't go in there, should I just go to the hospital then because I need to be seen? I was like, I'm having shortness of breath. And it was just a mess. And they ended up letting me go into the immediate care, and the provider ended up asking me and kind of told me what happened, and they needed to know what specific chemicals it was if I ended up having some sort of pneumonia. However, my oxygen saturation was like 100%, and the doctor goes, there's not much higher we can go from there. My lungs sounded pretty clear. She was like, I don't think you need a chest x-ray right this moment, but if it doesn't get better, go ahead and go to the hospital. And the other thing was she gave me albuterol, just like an inhaler with a spacer for me to take that for when I have like the chest tightness and when I feel short of breath and I can't catch a good breath. I know my respirations were like 28. It was very high. I think what she kind of explained to me is my lungs are probably irritated, but it's not anything that's like of an emergency right now. So hopefully this starts dying down soon. I ended up getting COVID tested, and let me tell you, when you have like a burning throat and like a burning nose because my sinuses are on fire right now, it was not fun to have them COVID test me. Yeah, I ended up getting my test results back this morning and I am negative, which I figured I would be negative, but you just never know. So it was good that they still tested me, but now I have to obviously go through the whole process and like tell my school I don't have COVID. This is what happened. So if I'm at clinical, like, can I go? Can I not go? Because if I go, I'm gonna be sneezing and like just everything's so tight and congested right now. The whole shortness of breath is such a downer because I swear, like, even in my apartment, I'll walk a little bit and I just can't catch a good breath. So that is currently what I'm dealing with right now. Hopefully this starts dying down soon. I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an update because I'm not able to share like a community post quite yet. So I just kind of wanted to let you guys know that if I don't post a video tomorrow, if I can't quite get it up in time, I will post it next week. I've just been super exhausted. I can't even explain to you how tired I've been from this whole severe reaction that I've had to the fumes that I smelled. So just wanted to update y'all so you didn't think that I'm not posting this week, but hopefully everything clears up by next week. All right, if you liked the idea of the Facebook group, of course, let me know. Leave any comments, suggestions, concerns you have in the comment section down below. Now that I'm at home, obviously not doing much, I can respond fairly quickly. So if there's anything you can take away from this video, I know it's just a life update, but stay away from chemicals and fumes, please. Like, they are not good for your body. And I know I may be a little bit more sensitive than most people, but this can happen to everybody. And the health professionals right now during a pandemic may mistake thinking that you have coronavirus when you really don't and you're having a reaction. Okay, alrighty y'all, so have a good week, and I always want to wish you luck on your nursing journey.